don't know if it would have been that so much as just at the time he and I were doing things together. You know, we'd hang out and play a lot together. So there was some other stuff too I did in the studio with him, playing bass and playing sitar on some tracks. But I have no idea where they are now. But that was kind of what was happening at the time.
Well, getting back to Alone Together, you ended up going to Los Angeles using American musicians, and maybe ending up with a somewhat Americanized sound, which I guess you would basically stay with. So,
well, it was pretty much. I mean, everything that was English was all derived from American stuff in the first place. So, whether we put a twist on it over there in England, probably so. But essentially, everything was derived from there somehow.
Yeah.
Blues or jazz or whatever. It's the point about all that stuff is that it all originated in America. So somewhere or another, you got to be influenced by it.
So you don't think maybe the Alone Together is not the stylistic turning point that he is kind of getting at?
Well, maybe I just didn't really think about it, to be honest with you. It was just I had 8 songs, and Tommy LaPuma was the producer with me on it, and I didn't really know anybody in LA, so those were all the musicians he brought in to interpret all the, to cut the tracks with.
I see. Yeah.
It was an album that's lasted a long time.
Yeah. No, you doing what you felt were the roots of the music you were doing. You said like all the English stuff was coming from American influences, and you basically went back to the roots, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, although a lot, I don't do blues on records, or I mean, that's primarily, I think, probably my. Whenever I pick up a guitar and start playing electric, that's usually what I start playing first of all. I mean, the blues are something I really like. I just don't have the voice to sing it primarily. Although we do a few things on the show now. We do Stormy Monday Blues and That's My Blues. So we do a couple of things in there. But I like the blues. But then again, when I write all kinds of different songs. It depends on. And then it's a question of what style of music best suits that particular song. So that's kind of. I don't necessarily write songs in a specific style. There'll be a song that I'll write, and then it's like, oh well, this sounds kind of country, so we're gonna have to do it this way, or this sounds kind of rock, so I try to do a lot of different styles. Also, I like a lot of different styles of music.
So you say you kind of you're rather diverse in the styles you like to cover.
Yeah, I think so.
In terms of your own guitar playing, what do you think you established your style? What could be called your style?
I guess Alone Together would have to be.
Yeah.
Where people said, oh, Dave Mason, the guitar player. I mean, I never really rated myself that much.
Yeah. Jimmo, I think he likes the closing solo of the last song on that, which is...
Look at you, look at me.
Look at you, look at me. It's one of his favorites. You playing the guitar for many years now.
Right.
What do you think is the allure of the guitar? What makes the guitar such an attractive instrument? I mean, not as a guitarist per se, but as just a listener.
It's lasted a long time, that's for sure. I don't really know. I mean, it's...
Is it more expressive?
Probably, well, yeah. I think probably next to the piano, it's probably the most expressive instrument.
Would you think the piano's more expressive?
Well, I think piano is probably the ultimate expressive instrument because you've got everything. You can orchestrate with it. You can do it. You've got everything going on with it. The bass, the chords, the melody, and plus it's down to the touch. And the same with the wind instrument. How you blow it and how you play it. But at least with a guitar, I mean, it's just very expressive, I think. I mean, even the same person, this, you know, 3 different people can play the same guitar and make it sound totally different. But why it's the instrument that's the predominant instrument, I don't really know. I don't know.
But like all the guitar players out there, there's not that many people can really make it sing. Why is the guitar difficult in that sense?
I don't know. That's that's a pretty abstract sort of. You know, that's. You know, it's like why would a blues player can play 2 or 3 notes can be a lot more expressive than, you know, these kids who are trying to play 20,000 notes in the same space of time. You know, it's kind of like a lot of the heavy metal bands. It's almost, it gets to sound like it's the same guitar player in every band after a while. You know. You know, what you don't play is as important as what's played, you know, and the feeling you put into it, you know, obviously. I think, you know, probably that's it, you know.
I think you would have done if you hadn't been a guitar player.
If I hadn't have been in rock and roll music, I was studying to go in the Royal Air Force.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Krugman, professional soldier.
I wanted to fly. So I was maths, English, chemistry, and physics to go in the Royal Air Force, but then I got into playing guitar, and it sort of went out the window. But that was pretty much my dream, though, as a girl, you know, at school growing up. For a lot of years. Well, flying with my guitar, right.
Saying you're one of the few, like you said, a lot of guitar players out there want to play 100 miles an hour.
Right.
But you're one of the few guitar players who actually concentrates on taste. And he hopes
I try to
continue in that direction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Try to write good songs and melodies, and I mean that's basically what I try to do, you know.
The young guitar players who read our magazine.
The young players? Well, I don't know. I think you know, it's kind of hard because, you know, you get into doing it because you want to be successful, so you tend to, I mean, you obviously, everybody learns from plagiarism. It all stems from somewhere. And but I think to try and develop their own style is important. You know, something recognizable, rather than be in a situation where it starts to sound like, you know, is that the same guitar player with a, you know, it sounds the same as that band over there or that band. You know, it gets a little generic after a while. But, you know, who knows? There's just no accounting for taste, you know. It's all out there. There's so many different styles, and, you know. I mean, I love flamenco guitar, like the Gypsy Kings. I love the Gypsy Kings. So I like all kinds of styles of guitar playing. But I think, you know, if it's rock and roll you're playing, if it's